Ural clutch cable adjustment. This procedure is going to cover both if you're installing a new cable or if your existing cable has stretched some and has become loose. Probably the first indication you're going to have is you might be complaining a little bit about clutch drag a little bit, or on your clutch handle if you have a lot of free play in the clutch handle. Ural put out a video. I can't remember exactly what they say, but I wanted to say they said about a quarter of an inch or so of play. But that's a little bit too much play. So there's actually two adjustment points for the Ural clutch cable. The one is right up by the clutch handle, and we're going to consider this one a fine adjustment. So when your clutch handle becomes a little bit loose like that, you can loosen the lock nut here, and you can turn this counterclockwise or bringing it out, and that will tighten up your clutch handle. And you want just a little bit of play in your clutch handle. And once you get that adjusted, you tighten this back up. But the problem lies is when you get this adjusted out too far and you run out of adjustment. What do you do? Well, that's where you go to the course adjustment. So what you will do first if you have to do the course adjustment is you will take this adjustment, you will thread it all the way in. And then you'll come over here to the course adjustment, which is right there above the right carburetor. You can see it. This is the course adjustment. It has a lock nut, a 12 millimeter lock nut, and you will loosen that and you will turn this. And if you turn it counterclockwise, where the bolt threads on it start to go forward, that will tighten the clutch cable. If you turn it, counterclockwise, we'll take it that way. Clockwise, we'll take it in, and we'll make the clutch cable looser. So again, you will adjust it here, a coarse adjustment, to where you get the handle close, and then you can adjust it with the fine adjustment. One word on adjusting this adjustment: when you first set up your clutch cable, is you need to, let's see if I can turn this a little bit, if you can bring it in. There's a point down here where you can adjust a little bit as well. But when you first set up your clutch cable, between these 2 points, in front of the gearbox and on the back of the gearbox, you want to make sure you have a little bit of slack, enough to where your clutch release arm is a little loose and it doesn't present pressure on the clutch release rod all the time. So you have about that much of play. The arm is a little bit loose. As you can see, I have a little bit of play here, that if this gets too tight or it gets too loose in here, I can adjust this side to take that up on there. But if I'm just mainly worried about the clutch cable at the handle, I will either adjust the handle or the rough one down here. So I'm going to go through the procedure right now. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to adjust my clutch cable. I'm going to do it both at the handlebar end and also down at the transmission end. Again, fine adjustment. Transmission end is coarse adjustment. So I'm going to loosen my lock nut as much as possible, and I'm going to turn this adjustment in, which should loosen the cable quite a bit. There we go. That's about as far as I can get it in. And if we go over to my clutch handle, you can see how much that's flopping around. So now I'm going to go down to my course adjustment. And I'll start adjusting that to where the handle gets a little bit tighter. So I already took my 12 millimeter wrench and I loosened the lock nut, and I want to turn this counterclockwise, and it should start tensioning up the cable up here. And I have it pretty close there. You don't want to do it too much because you want to be able to work with your fine adjustment a little bit. And again, you want to check your tension here, and that stayed good. Moving this, once you have this set, moving this adjustment shouldn't affect this. So I'm going to tighten down my lock nut. And I'm going to come over here to my handle, and if you can see, I have just about the right amount of play. Now as the cable stretches or things start to happen, you can see that my adjustment is all the way in. If the cable starts to stretch, I can tighten it back up just by using this adjustment right here. So what I'll do is I'll just tighten down the lock nut. I'll check my handle again, and it feels good. Go through a couple of operations, and I'll ride it like that for a little bit and make sure. And again, if I need to tweak it, all I got to do is come out here and adjust that. But that's basically how you do the Ural clutch cable adjustment.